You guys know what fucking time it is. You know, it's the God's Hour, Tuesday, 6 p.m. Pacific, where we're here to game you up on this whole fantasy life, man. How y'all living? Jay, my man Dan, how y'all living?
Oh, man, it's week 10, bruh. We starting to get into the time now where separation occurs and desperation ensues. And so we are here to make sure y'all not on the desperate side, that y'all on the separation side, and we gonna get these wins, man. So trades, it's heavy trade time. The deadline's coming up next week. Heavy waiver time right now. There's been a lot of things coming up, and we've got some injuries and shit to talk about too. So there's a lot going on.
Yeah, man. I'm excited. It absolutely is desperation time at this point, man. Hopefully you guys have been listening. Hopefully you guys have been taking the advice. You guys are set up for success, and we're going to continue to help you throughout it. But if you guys are on TikTok, man, and want to go over and join the page on YouTube, go subscribe to our YouTube channel. Go ahead and follow on TikTok as well. But you got me and P and Justin. All three guys are available for you on our YouTube page. So go ahead and get over to YouTube as well with our TikTok family. Woo! Let's go.
Big facts, man. Yeah, we get into the crunch time, man. You got to either separate or you got to make some moves to be hopefully in that playoff picture. But, we got a couple wins over here and in the last few leagues over here. So, and I'm actually suffered my first loss in the Twitter Content Creator League.
Oh, really? What place you in now?
No longer undefeated,
you no longer in first either. There's somebody else. One of the top two teams is in first. I think Connor was talking about. Is it him?
Is it? Yeah, Connor's top two, yet he's not two. And my man Jay took that top spot. It's all good. I'll get it back.
No, you ain't. No, you ain't, dog.
But yeah, man, we talked about a little bit what we're gonna get into. Of course, you guys got all the questions coming in. Keep those questions coming in. We're here to help you guys. We're going to put your questions up, answer them. But a few pressing topics, right? We definitely want to get into waiver wires, who you should pick up, who you should prioritize. But also these injury news we got with our man Josh Allen, the number one overall player in fantasy. Some scary news. And Corey, you right on cue, man. But, we're hearing some mixed reports right now. His camp is trying to keep it tight. But Dan, man, what are you feeling about this? Like, what's your insight and just game me up on how you're feeling about this, the whole elbow injury.
Sure. And again, if you guys are on our TikTok page, go over to YouTube. We got Justin, got Prabat, myself, all on that page for the Gawdscast. I'm going to go ahead and answer you guys' questions after we kind of get through the intro, but kick it with us. If you guys not following on YouTube, go subscribe to our YouTube channel. The biggest thing for Josh Allen, look, at the end of the day, man, it's horrible news. It's horrible news for any Bills fan. This is kind of our year to kind of take it to the next level, hopefully to that Super Bowl, and possibly win it all. It's not good news for us, but I will say this is that I'm okay. I think that Josh Allen's injury is not that severe. I think it's going to be if he is out, it may be 2 to maybe 3 weeks out of time. Because you got to think of it. He got injured before that last play of the game. He chucked the ball down the field
70 yards.
70 yards. So
that was a dart, bruh.
At minimum, Josh Allen is a cyborg. He's not a human being. This dude is amazing, folks. And to do this on an injury is unbelievable. I don't think there's enough credit given to Josh Allen and his arm and his talent. I wouldn't worry too bad. I think that the fact is, if it was really bad, he would not have played after that injury. So to me, I think he's going to be okay. Now, obviously, adrenaline and shots and all them medical things out there, but I think he's going to be all right.
Yeah, I am a little concerned about Josh Allen, and even if it's not, Tommy John, I think that's the concern if you're a Bills fan, or if you're, in fantasy and you have Josh Allen, is like, is he going to have to get that dreaded Tommy John surgery which keeps you out 8 to 12 months? And I don't think he goes through that. It's something where it doesn't seem like the team is overly concerned that it's that case, but these injuries do tend to linger right throughout the season. We've seen Matt Stafford had something going on with his elbow a little bit earlier in the season. It's affected his play. While I don't think that it's necessary for him to have surgery, I do think this is an injury that would affect Josh Allen's play at some level, whether he has to use his legs more or maybe he just doesn't throw as far downfield. at least a couple weeks, we're going to see him play at a little bit lower level, in my opinion. So I'd be concerned if I had Josh Allen, not desperate.
Okay, so then break it down for our viewers a little bit more. I'm gonna go to Dan, then you, Jay. Like a scale from 1 to 10. What's your concern level?
10 being extremely
10
concerned.
being like, yo, this is scary.
I'd say it's a 6 for me. Like, I just think it's like,
Ooh.
okay, like, you know, I'm not overly concerned, but at the same time, you have to lean. You know, I'm leaning like, oh yeah, like anytime an injury happens, man, like I'm especially elbow, like, you know, I'd rather.
Yeah, this is not no
It's
regular
not throwing
injury.
elbow would have been nice,
Yeah.
but you know, it's just throwing elbow. So, you know, quarterbacks rely on the arm. So yes, I'm slightly concerned, but the fact that he was still able to play, it tempers my expectations of injury.
Fantasy wise, since we're talking about fantasy, it's like a 7 out of 10 for me. Like, I'm really concerned about him, and it's not full panic mode with Josh Allen, but when you have elbow injuries to somebody who throws the ball for a living, I don't like that at all, man. We see it with pitchers all the time, and the pitchers who try to get it delayed often aren't as efficient. They don't throw as hard. So for a guy that's a deep arm quarterback and has a very strong arm, I'm very concerned when it comes down.
Yeah, my concern level, to be honest with you, is a little bit higher. And what is most concerning about this is, like I mentioned earlier, his camp is keeping it on the low, right? But his camp is also seeking a second opinion. And that means that the first opinion that they got, they didn't like too much. So, you know what I mean? So if they're seeking a second opinion, that should concern you guys a little bit. I mean, yeah, he did launch it after the injury. He did launch it 70 yards. But I think of the pass before that, his accuracy was kind of low. He kind of skipped it in there to Diggs. But with that being said, I mean, you know, the fact that a second opinion doesn't shake you up a little bit.
Think about this. But second opinion does concern me. Like, when you have an opinion, they're like, oh yeah, he's good to go. He's limited. We're not too worried about it. And they're like, nah, maybe we need to take another look at this thing. To me, that does bring a little pause for concern. But with any injury that's significant, right? Like, is he going to play with a brace on his arm? Is there anything that has to happen? Like, there's a lot in my head. I'm thinking of, like, they're going to try to limit the amount of times that this quarterback throws the football. And for a guy that's on a team that needs to win, and on a team that relies for, has pass catchers that are needed, to me, that is a level of concern for Gabe Davis, who is dropping way down already. Stephon Diggs, Dawson Knox, like, it's just, there is a big concern. I mean, trying to do anything with any type of bandage or adhesive P, I think you could speak to that.
Yo, as long as Josh Allen can stay away from the mandolins, you know what I'm saying? Then I think he'll be all right, man. But I mean, no, I mean, we're talking about this, and I mean, to me, it seems like it's a tough situation, mainly because of a few things, right? Like, Josh Allen, obviously, he's different than Matt Stafford because he does run a lot. He does take a lot of damage. And another hit on that elbow could be cause for concern. But on the other hand, from his team's perspective, that division is a lot tighter than people think.
Yeah.
Right? 1-2 weeks off, they could be in the, you know what I mean, in ranks third in the AFC East.
This is one of those situations where real football is probably going to trump fantasy football. And so for real football, we're going to see, Josh Allen's back on the field. Don't worry about it. But in real football, they're just trying to win games.
Facts. Okay. And as far as his position players, I know you kind of touched on it a little bit here, Jay, with some people falling. I mean, they got Case Keenum as a backup there, but like, I guess the most significant player there that would be affected or impacted is going to be Stephon Diggs. Are you guys like, does that knock down his rating for you? And like, where would you rate him? We'll go with you, Dan.
Well, to me, I'm not worried until I get the report. Like, let's the dust got to settle first. Like, let's just see what happens. So if there is some sort of injury where he's out 2 to 4 weeks, well, then you have to automatically downgrade Stephon Diggs.
Yeah.
Like, it's going from an elite talented QB that throws the ball 1,000,000 times and he's Stephon Diggs' best friend versus the backup who's not going to throw the ball, who doesn't have an elite arm and not the best friend. So you really, I mean, it's 100% Stephon Diggs with an immediately vault into that low end wide receiver 2 instead of that elite
wide
option.
receiver 2.
You
Yes,
gotta be
I think
one, right? Wide receiver 1, right?
for fantasy, I think he's a wide receiver too. With no Josh Allen. That's me personally. I'm vaulting him entirely that way because at the end of the day, the Bills have to change their entire scheme. No one is Josh Allen, and there's only one person is Josh Allen. Is Josh Allen. So to me, they're gonna have to run the ball some more. They're gonna have to rely on Naheem Hines coming in. It's gonna change the game for the Bills if Allen were to go down. Now, if nothing happens to Allen, he's back to where he is. I keep Diggs the same way. That's Stephon
I
Diggs.
can't rock with that, dog. I think Diggs, no matter what, in my opinion, I think Diggs is wide receiver 1 no matter what. Probably just more back end wide receiver 1 in case Keenum plays. Like we see Taylor Heineke out there making Terry McLaurin relevant as a wide receiver 2. To me, that's the same type of thing we can expect from Case Keenum. Now, where I do, Dan, I agree with you there, is like a 2 to 4 week thing does change things for Stephon Diggs, right? But I also think that might help out Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs' value for the fantasy playoffs. I would rather see Josh Allen miss 2 to 4 games and come back a little bit more healthy than try to play through this shit. And you're wondering, when is he actually healthy? Because then you don't know, like, is he healthier now? It's kind of like what's going on with Justin Herbert. With Herbert, you're like, oh shit, is he back? Is he not? They had the bye. You're wondering, at least when they miss games and they come back, for the most part, they're at least close to 100%.
Yeah. I mean, and Stephon Diggs, he has a relationship too, and he has some history with Case Keenum, the backup there too. So,
Vikings.
it could be, when they beat the Saints in the playoffs. I mean, he threw that touchdown pass. But it could be something. I don't know if I would drop him down to like wide receiver 2 or low wide receiver 2. I mean, somewhere in the back end wide receiver. I mean, we're still talking about an elite talent at wide receiver. You know what I'm saying? But it is definitely cause for concern.
I don't know. I'm just more along the lines of, he's a DK Metcalf. You rank DK Metcalf as a wide receiver 1? No. I mean, I don't. I'm not. I don't have him there. But DK Metcalf is an all-world talent, just as Stephon Diggs is. And
I think there's a difference in talent right there between DK and Stephon Diggs. Like DK's a freak, but Stephon is like
been in the league longer. DK is just still, what is this, 4th year? I mean, going into the 4th year. So to me, like,
hold on a minute, bro. Hold on. You just said there's a huge difference between Diggs and DK talent wise.
Yeah, talent wise.
Get the fuck out of here. How you gonna say DK? You put DK on the bill. You put DK on the Bills right now with Josh Allen. We be talking about him as a 1,700-yard, 15 TD guy.
Yeah,
same thing. You put Diggs on Seattle, he'd be fucking Tyler Lockett.
No, so here's where you're wrong, right? Although DK is talented, I'm not saying he's not talented. Don't get it twisted. I know you guys like to twist my words, but what I'm saying, like, where Diggs separates himself from the majority of the league is how crisp he runs his routes. That's how he's getting open. Yeah, he's fast. Yeah, DK's huge. DK's big. He's fast. He's as a specimen physically. But if you're talking about how they get open, then I mean,
don't say talent wise. Don't say talent wise. Then you can't say that. You can say route running wise, but you can't say talent wise.
Route running is a talent.
No, but it's not the only talent. Mike Evans versus Keenan Allen is the same thing. It doesn't matter. To rock in contested situations.
All right, we lose a J. we lose a J.
I don't know. I was like, was it me or was it this dude? But
it's good.
Am I good?
No, you're good now.
I mean, you're good now, but your point wasn't good, but you're good now. You know what I'm saying?
What I'm saying is the same thing as Mike Evans versus Keenan Allen. You could say, Keenan Allen's the better talent. It's like, Mike Evans is going to go get the ball whether it's contested or not. It's the same thing with DK and Stephon Diggs. DK, no matter what, if it's contested or not, DK's going to go get that shit. So if Josh Allen's throwing him the ball,
no, he's not.
Hell yeah! What you talking about?
Bruh,
come on,
like
man.
Bro. You can see
DK was a top 5 receiver with Russ.
Okay, that's cool. I mean, Russ didn't make. Okay, last year, what did DK do last year? He got under 1,000 yards, right, with Russ, right?
He was hurt. Come on, man. Using these injuries. Come on, dog.
All right.
Using the injuries. Come on, bro.
But my point is, like, you see, if you get a player like DK, you're talking about his quarterback being the main factor of where he's at now versus where he's at. But you get a player of, like, for example, Tyreek, right? Tyreek is still cutting it up, whether it's Mahomes or whether it's motherfucking noodle arm Tua Tagovailoa. He's doing the same thing. And there's certain players that do that. There's certain tiers. I'm not saying DK's not talented. I'm just saying there's a difference
You
in
trying to knock DK, bro, and I ain't here for it.
I'm having it.
Yeah,
I ain't here for it, dog.
I guess you ain't here for facts, then, baby. But I know we got a bunch of questions here. But let's go. Let's run it up on TikTok. See what they saying over there.
I'm gonna run it up on TikTok real quick. Hey man, thanks you guys for continuing to follow us on TikTok. But if you guys want to see the full YouTube with us, me, Justin, and Prabat, go ahead and go over to our YouTube channel and subscribe. Appreciate you guys kicking it with me on TikTok. But I'm gonna answer you a few questions, man. Keep running the questions. I got you. Will JT bounce back? He's gonna bounce back if he's healthy. Needs to be healthy and straight up. They need to move back to Matt Ryan. Get that stability at the quarterback situation. The rookie is not doing its job. They also need to get healthy on the offensive line. So JT has the talent to move forward, but he's really, anytime he's on the field, he's a low-end RB1 at this point. Is Pierce a top 12 running back moving forward? I don't have him top 12 moving forward. I think he's about 15 in that range. So just outside of the top 12 for me, because really it takes a lot. Dude had a career high in carries and yards. 13 points, guys. Like, it's just not that good. Diehard Pierce. And it's just
yo, Damian Pierce was, hey, you see them broken tackles? He was like, it was one catch, 6 yards.
It's bad for Damian Pierce. Singletary or Jamal Williams. I'm going to go with Singletary moving forward. He's still going to be the workhorse. We know his role. Jamal Williams eventually will cede that role to Swift. So in the short term, I'm going to say Jamal Williams. In the long term, for the fantasy playoffs is what you need the most. I'm going to go ahead and say Singletary. Should I trade Dalvin Cook and Dameon Pierce for Cooper Kupp? I don't hate it, but I think that's a little bit of an overpay, especially if you need running backs. Now, if you don't need running backs, you're set, and you're just trying to lock in that wide receiver one. Cooper Kupp is that guy, but I think that's a huge price for Cooper Kupp. Go ahead, guys.
All right. My man Anthony here. We got trade Judy and Kupp for Adams and Ken Walker. I like that. I would do that. I would definitely do that, depending on who your other running backs are. But yeah, I mean, what do you guys think?
To me, that's a Judy for Kenneth Walker. Like, if you really need a running back, go ahead and do that. But otherwise, I'm keeping Kupp. Like, Kupp's value to me is like untradeable almost, unless you're getting back like a 20-point player. Like Adams,
exactly. Adams is a 20-point player.
This is considerable, but this isn't automatic to me. I probably would just keep Kupp if my running backs are straight. If I need a running back, I'd do the deal.
Yeah, I think it's a solid deal. I mean, again, it's Devontae Adams. He just showed you what you were able to attain with him, and we've been advocating go get Devontae Adams last 2 weeks. Get Devontae. Go get Devontae, and look what Devontae did. He rewarded you guys. So to me. And Ken Walker's going to be Ken Walker. I don't see elite RB1 like a top 5 guy, but he's a back end RB1. We called it. We said Kenneth Walker was better than a Dameon Pierce. We did that the last 2 podcasts. Man, we are here for you guys. We've been
we got y'all.
Man, listen.
We got y'all.
Let them know, Dan.
I had to let them know.
Let them know. All right, is it time to drop Sutton? No, it's not time to drop Sutton.
It's going to be about that time. I'm not going to lie. Like, what is there to be excited about with Courtland Sutton when you know he's also got to go against top corners for the rest of the season? To me, Jerry Jeudy's the wide receiver 1 on this team right now. It's been established. It's kind of over the last few weeks we're noticing it. And so to me, Sutton's not a drop. He's just a bench guy right now. He's more of a fill-in, bye weeks. Like, there's just nothing to get excited about. Courtland Sutton will have 1 or 2 more games over 15 points, I'll say. That's it.
1 or 2 more over 15. Really?
Rest of the season.
Rest of the season, we're giving up on him like that? You guys are really giving up on something like that?
Yeah.
Well, we weren't high on Sutton in the first place, P. we were on the way, son. How's that working out for you, guys?
Oh, man, facts are facts, bro. Like you just said. So,
he's been looking bad lately.
I'm going to hit a few over TikTok. TikTok,
yes,
man.
Sir.
Let's see. Who should I trade Swift and Kirk for? So Christian Kirk. I mean, obviously, to me, if you're giving up Swift and you just kind of are over him, he's working his way back from injury. You need someone now. I'm going to have to attack a good running back. At the end of the day, you're going to need someone. Maybe a Kenneth Walker. You're going to pay for, or maybe even a Dalvin Cook. You could possibly move those guys. Guys that are not haven't shown that you're not going to get a Derrick Henry, you're not going to get Austin Eckler, but something like that. Let's see. Should I sell Ahmad St. Brown? Amra, I'm not doing it. Me and Justin talked about this earlier. St. Brown, I think, explodes when Hawkinson wasn't there last year. I think it's a perfect time to keep.
He's
St.
a buy low candidate.
Yeah, he's definitely a buy low candidate for sure. Derek Carr, Justin Fields this week. I think you got to ride the hot hand. I mean, it's Justin Fields season right now. He is the number one quarterback since I think week 6, was it? Something like that. He's dominating at this point.
And guess who the Bears play this week? The Detroit Lions.
Ooh. Yeah, easy money. Should I trade Pierce and Kirk and get Justin Jefferson? Of course.
Yeah.
I don't
send that shit now.
I already have Barkley and as running backs. If an owner is saying, yes, please send me Pierce and Kirk, I will give you. Yeah.
Send that shit ASAP.
Send it. And last one for me, trade Debo and Lenny for Kamara. Debo was on the bench for me. So
I would do that.
With coaches saying that Rachaad White needs the ball more, and then Debo, Debo's a stud.
Bye yo.
Gotta go.
Bye yo.
Alvin Kamara.
Yeah, 100%, man. So, all right, my man Trey, what up? Should I drop Butker for kicker? Bro, do what you want with kickers, man.
Yeah,
we ain't here for that.
I mean, you look like a nice guy, but we don't do kicker questions here, bro. I just gotta be transparent. We ain't.
They don't matter.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold you. All right, Corey, what up? All right, would you say Dameon Pierce is better than Kenneth Walker? No,
sir.
No,
bro. Hell no.
And just to talk about
he works harder though. Yeah, go ahead.
He definitely brings his lunch pail. But I'm gonna tell you like this, man. When we talk about a try hard, you've seen all the highlights from that dude. You know what I mean? You've seen his runs. You see him bursting, running hard for like those 6-7 yards. And those are the highlights. Everybody's talking about those broken tackles. You would have thought the dude had 20, 25 points. 130 yards, 13 points.
My dude is
all
working.
That work for, I'm good,
working
son.
so hard to not meet his projected point total. He was projected for 14.9. It had 139 yards on 27 carries. And my guy still did not meet his projected points. In prime time. You don't know how many clips of Dameon Pierce there were during the game of like, look at this guy. He's such a hard worker, breaking all these tackles. And I'm like, what's that equate to right now, bruh?
That don't mean nothing to me in terms of fantasy, man. There was a full breakdown on how he fell down, picked himself back up, bounced off this guy, bounced off a D tackle.
Bro, 5 tackles for 2 yards.
Praising that dude. And I'm like, okay, it's still 2nd and 4.
Hey, no lie. On TikTok, there was this guy, Theo Ash. He did a breakdown of Dameon Pierce and how it was the greatest play of the NFL season, and it was a catch. And Dameon Pierce broke like 6 tackles in this play. A spin move, a cat-like move off the ground where his knees didn't hit, another juke, a lunge forward. And it was a 1 catch for 6 yards. How is this possible with this guy? He's a try hard. I don't know what y'all don't understand about that shit.
Yeah. So go grab yourself some Kenneth Walker, man, because that dude looks nasty.
Yeah, that's effortless football. Kenneth Walker.
Yeah. Is Devontae and Cordell for Cup an overpay? My RBs are Eckler and Alvin Kamara. Now, is that an overpay? I wouldn't say that's an overpay.
No, sir. Get that done.
Yeah, because like, check this out. Like Jay said this earlier, there's only so many players like Cup, right? And if you can do that, especially with those running backs right there, Cordell's nice, but that's something that I would send. That's something I would send, and I wouldn't think twice about it.
Especially like as we're getting later into the year, it's more valuable to have elite consistent pieces than it is to have like good depth. So you start Eckler and AK, you got Cup. Like Cup is a significant upgrade at this point over Devontae Adams to me, so I'm with it.
Yeah.
For sure.
You got any more TikTok?
Yeah, I got tons, man.
Go ahead, run the TikTok, bro.
Yeah, run the TikTok
Daily
up.
football roundup. Should I start Dak or Herbert? I think you got to roll with Dak at this point. To me, Herbert is just not doing his thing right now. But I want to see Keenan back. If Keenan's healthy, like if this guy actually plays a damn game this year, like him and Michael Thomas, bro, I just want problems, man, with both of them, man. So wait till Keenan Allen is fully healthy, and then obviously you need Mike Williams back for Herbert. So start Dak Prescott to Justin Fields this week. No, I think Justin Fields is still Justin Fields. You know, you got to roll with Justin Fields. Again, if you have Dak, it's a low end QB1 for me. Must win out trade AJ Brown and Monty for Henry and Mike Williams. I have CMC, ETN, Cooper, Judy, and Monty. I think you're not going to trade AJ Brown. If you already have CMC and ETN, there's no reason to get Derrick Henry. Keep AJ Brown. Otherwise, you got Cooper, Judy, and Mooney. No, keep AJ Brown in that deal. Do not do that, Kenny. Should I trade Leonard Fournette, Sanders, and Palmer for Mixon and Higgins? I'm okay with that. I'm all right with that. I know that Mixon's coming off of that, monstrous game. You're not going to get that ever again this year. He's not going to do it again.
Facts.
Guaranteed. But I think Lenny is trending down. Sanders, I can't really trust that guy. And then Palmer is just Palmer, right? So you got Higgins, who's, to me, top 15 receiver, and then you get Mixon. Go lock that in. Debo, Pollard, and Kittle for Eckler.
Who you like,
That's a lot.
Say that again. Debo, Pollard, and Kittle
for Eckler.
Debo, Pollard, and Kittle for Eckler. Run up that Eckler price, baby. Go get you some Eckler, baby.
Yeah, I like Eckler still.
Yeah.
It depends on who your tight end is.
Yeah. I mean, I just think that there's a lot more mouths to feed with CMC going over there to Frisco. You know what I mean? But if you get a chance to get Eckler, I think that's something you would pay.
For sure. Drop Ayuk, Devonta Smith, or Lockett for OBJ.
No.
I'm not dropping any of these guys.
OBJ is not like somebody you want to go pick up. He's not coming back till week 13, 14, and then you're not going to play him in the fantasy playoffs. Like, it's a waste of roster spot at this point.
Yeah. No one's touching OBJ. Trade Mixon for Kenneth Walker. I'm going to keep Mixon.
Trade Mixon for Kenneth Walker? No.
Not gonna do it.
If you're gonna trade Mixon right now, like you gotta sell high after his
5 touchdowns. You go to Kenneth Walker.
Trade backwards.
Last question for me on TikTok. We'll go back to our YouTube, man. And again, if you guys are not following on YouTube, go follow us on YouTube. We got myself, P, and Justin Henry on YouTube for the Gawdscast. So go follow on YouTube, guys. Guaranteed get your question answered. What do you do with Leonard Fournette? I want to start him, but he's been so bad. And to me, look, if you don't have any other options, you're going to have to start Leonard Fournette. But just know that Rachaad White is getting more and more looks, especially the catches. That's what made Fournette valuable early on in the season. He was getting that pass-catching work along with his regular carries. But, again, we told you from the get-go, from the season starts, that we would not be buying Leonard Fournette. We're actually fading Leonard Fournette. So, come on, guys. You got to
fade Leonard Fournette.
I
caught a lot of backlash for that shit too.
Tons of backlash.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
it
their season
to play out.
Their season is not going as planned either, man. They got a losing record. It's time for those young guns to shine at all positions outside of quarterback over there in Tampa. But you know what I mean? Like they got talent over there in Rachaad White. So if you got Fournette, I would sell his ass for what he's worth right now.
Yeah, like I just sold Fournette for Jonathan Taylor, and I think it was the smartest move I could have did. So, that's the type of move people are asking. Like, what should I trade for Fournette right now? Like Jonathan Taylor, Dalvin Cook, DeAndre Swift. Those are guys I'd be looking at right now for Fournette.
Yes, sir.
All right, we got my man Jose. What up? Waddle or Mike Evans going forward? I'm still going Mike Evans because he's the number one there. Waddle is performing at a higher rate. But he's still the number 2 over there. You guys think differently?
No, I don't feel any different. Go get Mike Evans. He's an ultra stud. Look, Waddle is the next coming. He's going to be, he's that next class of receiver that's doing well. But to me, it's still Mike Evans. I'm never fading Mike Evans, bro. We're never doing it over here. We've never told you to fade him. He is an elite talent at the receiver position. And Brady still loves him. He's still there. They're the Gronk, the new Brady and Gronk is Mike Evans. And
Only thing I can say about Waddle is he's probably in a more explosive offense at this point. He's still the number 2 receiver, though, and there's something going on with this line. And to P's point, as the second half goes on, we might see more young guys. That's the only thing I can say about Waddle versus Mike Evans. Travis Etienne or Kenneth Walker. This is simple. Travis Etienne all day. Pass catching upside. In a standard league, I probably would go with Kenneth Walker, but in any PPR league, I'm going Travis Etienne over Kenneth Walker. It's no question. Let's see. Gabe Davis and Palmer for Stevenson. P, you knocking that deal out?
I'm knocking that deal out. I like what Stevenson's doing, man. They're using him a lot, and Gabe Davis and Palmer's not. I wouldn't worry about Palmer even being in the conversation. I'm looking at this Gabe Davis or Stevenson. I'm going Stevenson.
Facts. What up? Jesus said, what's up? Just subscribe. Came from the TikTok. You love to see it, baby.
yes, sir. Again, if you're on TikTok, go to our YouTube. You get to see both me, Justin, and Prabhat, all 3 gods on YouTube, man. You don't get to just look at my mug. Go over here to YouTube, man.
Yeah,
that's probably why they unfollowing because of that, bruh. They hitting that unfollow button. No, they like, oh, they Dan, I'm unfollowing. Foreman or Pollard this week? I think we're expecting to see Chuba Hubbard back. Tony Pollard does have a little bit more upside. Both of these are mediocre plays. If I had to pick one, I would go with Deontay Foreman because he has a slightly maintainable workload. But Pollard with Ezekiel Elliott hurt does have some upside too. So I don't love it. I don't love either.
I would go Pollard.
They expect Zeke to play, so.
Okay.
Yeah, Zeke's supposed to play, but I mean, Chuba Hubbard's expected to play too. I just think they'll work in Chuba Hubbard more slowly than they will Zeke coming off.
Shout out to those who sold high on Foreman.
Pete, that was a cold move, bruh.
Shout out to those, baby.
You didn't know you were selling high though. You didn't know you were selling that high. No, you didn't. You would have waited till after the 30-point week if you knew you were selling that high.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
you're right. But I'll take what I can get, baby. You give me a top 10. You give me a top 5 wide receiver.
Oh, here we go. Goes to Pete's team. He's top 3 again. What's Justin Jefferson now? I want to know.
He like back end wide receiver too,
Oh my God! It always happens. Here we go. I traded away joking. Cooper Kupp for Henry and DK. Is that a win or an L? I don't want to tell you, Tristan. I don't want to tell you it's an L, but it is.
It's an L, dog.
That's an L, Tristan.
Wait, so Cooper Kupp for Derrick Henry and DK is an L in your book?
Cooper Kupp's the number 1 player right now in fantasy.
DK don't get Cooper Kupp, bro. I'm not.
Yeah, you gotta.
There's almost nothing I would trade for Cooper Kupp unless it was like CMC and another like really Saquon and another really good piece.
Mahomes.
Yeah, like it'd have to be another really elite piece for me to move.
So then, but I mean, where do you have Derrick Henry ranked? You said CMC and you said CMC and who else?
Like CMC and Mahomes.
CMC, like, Saquon.
You gotta get somebody.
You said Saquon. You don't think that Derrick Henry's in that realm?
He's in the realm, but he ain't there though. He not CMC or Saquon. Those guys are 25-point guys. Derrick Henry on some weeks is, but then on other weeks he's 20 carries for 80 yards. Like there's a difference between with him and CMC. Bro. Yes, necessarily. Like I know they're getting him a little bit more involved in the passing game than they had been traditionally, but Derrick Henry does have a lot lower floor than a CMC or Saquon. 100%. Those guys. Yeah. That's where I would separate them. Like. Derrick Henry is more Dalvin Cookish to me, Joe Mixon to me because of the floor. That's what I'm getting at.
We'll just throw it out there. Weeks 1 and weeks 2, Derrick Henry 8.2 fantasy points, 8.5 fantasy points. So,
yeah,
the floor is real with Derrick Henry.
But since then, to your point, week 1 and week 2, since then he's already passed his catching totals of last season, and we're only that was only another 6 weeks.
You get to.
I mean, so he's getting a lot more catches. There's no wide receivers to throw there.
You got to understand too. Again, we're going to go back to Cooper Kupp. His lowest totals, and there was 2 games. So we'll say Derrick Henry's lowest were 8 points. Cooper Kupp's lowest totals, double that, 16.4, 16.7. That's worst.
I'm not comparing. Worst. I listen. Hey, I hear you. I'm not comparing Cooper Kupp to Derrick Henry, but
I hear that.
Derrick Henry. Nice. Y'all got selective hearing, bro.
That's what I hear. You just said Derrick Henry is better than Cooper Kupp. That's what I just heard right now.
You got Derrick Henry and you got somebody like DK. Listen, if it was me and I had Cooper Kupp, I'd be like, you know me, I'd be like, bro, I need a quarterback with that. You know what I mean? With those two. I would need something like that. But you know what I'm saying?
You turning that down 100 times out of 100 if you're a Cooper Kupp. You like, I need more.
Facts,
I need more.
Of course.
Yeah.
Hold up.
Hey, you get to skip the you got new era like LeBron. LeBron captain.
The liar.
Before the game, I knew he was going to score 70. Yeah.
You get to skip the line. If you fuck with us heavy, you get to skip the line. Shout out to the homie Thomas McCormick, who should, low key, he should have a spot here on this podcast, but he don't. He's scared. He's scared of life.
Tom is scared.
He should have a spot here on this podcast if we ain't lying. If we tell him the truth. Question for the gods. I like you acknowledge us as the gods, though. Will George Pickens shine with Claypool gone? Shout out to the homie Thomas. He's a lifelong Steelers fan. Special guest appearance. Send it, bro. I'm sending you the link right now to your email. Hop on.
Let's go.
I'm sending you no cap. I'm sending you an invite right now, Thomas.
Hey, don't speak about it and not be about it, Tom.
You just got one to your Gmail, homie.
And not be about it.
You literally just got an invite to your Gmail, bro. So hop on. Hop on and talk Steeler football with us right now. I just sent you an invite.
Yeah, and I'll come back to George Pickens. Yeah. Of course he's gonna shine. I've been saying this from the beginning, dog. Like, how much do we have to tell y'all? I've been preaching this from the get. George Pickens is an all-world talent. Now, does he have to put it together? Yes. Is his mental's got to be right? Yes, because this dude is so aggressive when he plays. He shoves defenders to the ground. He's disrespectful. George Pickens is that dude. I can't wait to see him shine. And think of it this way too. He just shed his knee brace during the comp or during the pro day. So he's not really even 100% when it comes to full health. I can't wait to see him later on in the year. And of course, in 2023, this guy is a superstar in the making.
All right, let's rapid fire through a few of these guys. I want Dallas defense. You think I can trade Gabe Davis for him? You should be able to trade Gabe Davis for Dallas defense. Go ahead and get it done. Oh, holy shit. Holy shit. Holy shit. He's actually on here. What's happening? Yo, friend of the family, Thomas McCormick. Welcome to the show, my guy. How you doing, dog?
Hey, I'm doing well, my man. I'm actually in Tuscaloosa.
Where the hell is that?
Territory, Alabama, my G, University of Alabama.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Hey, after cousin Derek shined the other night, I feel like I had to come out here.
You had to. Cousin Derek. Yo, so hey, as a Steeler fan, man, obviously big news. Claypool got traded. Steelers suck right now, coming off of a bye. What are you expecting from Kenny Pickett, Claypool, the whole squad, man? Najee, Deontay, talk to us.
Yeah, fill us in, man. You got that insider info.
Claypool's disappointing because he's always had that talent. I feel like that talent has always been there. It's just when he came on as a rookie is when Ben came back from that broken elbow or the elbow injury. Just really never had that consistent quarterback play. So I think with Justin Fields, it's going to take time for that relationship to develop, but I think he'll shine long term. I'm glad we got the compensation for him. We've got the talent. We stay drafting wide receivers on day 2. So Deontay Johnson, George Pickens, we'll get the next wide receiver next year. So I'm not worried about our long-term depth. I'm glad we got the assets. Kenny Pickett.
No, sir.
Let me ask you something, Tom. Do you see them?
Yes,
do you see them next year getting another quarterback in the first round?
No,
way
because
how they did Kyler, or Kyler did.
Josh Rosen. Tomlin's too scared. Unfortunately, as great of a coach as he is, he's not the type that's going to flip the script and go ahead and draft a quarterback back to back. Now, the only asterisk I put to that is that our general manager, Kevin Colbert, retired this past offseason after the draft. So I could see them using that as a Pickett was a Colbert pick. new regime, if they want to use that excuse, I don't think they're going to do that. I think there's enough with Kenny Pickett. I personally, as a Steelers fan, I'm not ready to push him away. I'm ready to give him another chance for another year or two. We don't draft in the top 10 ever. I think we might go on a little bit of a run here. So
Man,
I don't
fuck
think
the bullshit. Hey yo, fuck the Steelers. Fuck the bullshit, dog. We got some fantasy guys in here. Want to know about their fantasy teams, bro. Najee Harris, what the hell are we doing with them? Second half of the year, did they go to the ground game or is it Jalen Warren season? Let them know.
None of the above is what you should know. Stash him. Stash Najee. Don't do Jalen Warren. Trust me, as a lifelong Steelers fan, we've always had these random running backs, random receivers, random tight ends even that will flash from here to there. I promise you, these ancillary pieces, don't waste your time with them. If you're going to roster any of them, roster Najee Harris, but do not count him as your RB1, even an RB2, maybe a flex play.
You don't think he bounces back the second half of the year? Like, we always see elite assets. You know this, man. We see elite assets, and a lot of times that's when I'm coming to you like, hey, Tom, let me get Najee Harris from you, right? And then they go on to shine in the second half, and then you go and get, like, second place or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I say
second place.
See, with Najee Harris, he's the type of player where you have to dive into the analytics. You have to dive deep into the details when you see just some of their run blocking, how that's progressing or not progressing at all. His vision is absolutely miserable. Yeah. When you watch some of the all 22, bro, I'm telling you, this dude, he's got some room to grow. So, like I said, he's a nice play in some flex weeks. If you've got injuries, I'm not saying he's a dude that you need to drop or trade to get rid of for peanuts. He's worth obviously rostering, but I would not hinge your playoff run on Najee Harris.
Damn, that's tough to hear, but now, it's facts though.
If you
want to talk about Harris for pennies, that's what he said.
Tom's first appearance: sell Najee Harris for pennies. That's what we heard. Quote.
That's what I heard, bro.
If you're looking for a Steeler to keep an eye on, it's Patty Muth. Pat Fryermuth at the tight end position has been shining with Kenny Pickett. Last couple of weeks, they're building that rapport, especially with Claypool gone. Telling you down the stretch, Pat Fryermuth is the move if you're looking for a Steelers move. Outside of George Pickens, NFL young boy, number 14.
Standing in front of TV like
George Pickens. Well, my dude, Tom, you gonna hang out and answer some questions with us or what?
Let's do it. Send it. Run it.
Let's do it. Trust or bust, the newest segment here on the Gawdscast. Josh Allen's $258 million arm. We buying, Tom, or you think there's something more to that?
Can we teach the chat line, Justin, the conversation that you and I had back even the year before his senior season? What was the conversation you and I had? Who were the two quarterbacks we compared him to? I think you compared him to.
I don't remember.
It was Killer Cam Newton and Ben Roethlisberger. You said, watch out. He's going to be the next Cam Newton and the next Big Ben. Just watch.
Brad, I've been doing this shit for so long, dog.
He goes top 10 next year, and that's exactly what he is. He's got the mobility of Cam Newton. He's got the toughness of Big Ben. Now, that elbow injury is something to keep an eye on, something we got to watch for. And I don't know what the hell Billy Beane is doing in Buffalo with not giving him a running game, sticking with the Devin Singletaries and the James Cookses. Yeah, exactly. Like, why do you trade Devin Zach Moss for Nyheim Hines? Like, what's the point? It serves him no purpose.
Yeah, you
like
just dropped James Cook.
Yeah, so but yeah, Josh Allen, you have no choice but to run $300 million for that arm. For sure.
But let me ask you something though. You compared him to Cam. You compared him to Big Ben. We know how their careers have progressed, right? They're really good. They got battered. They got, they started getting these nicky-knack injuries. Do you see that happening with our man Josh Allen?
Dan's over there sweating bullets.
I was gonna say,
you might want to plug your ears.
Dan's switching the hat out for that Niners hat that I've seen him in too many pictures over the years. Look, I think that's a very valid point, P. If you've got Josh Allen in a dynasty league, but as far as these redraft leagues, nobody gives a fuck as far as what his injury capability is going to be a couple years down the road. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, to answer your question, yes, because they don't have a running game for him. Stephon Diggs is nice, but how long is he going to be nice for? He's got what? 2 to 3 years max. At this elite level. Yeah. I mean, Dawson Knox is cool. He's not like top 3 to 5 tight end, right? So it's like, what else do they have to work with? They don't. Like right now is their window. So maybe that's why they're not shipping out picks.
Facts.
Oh,
The
damn.
the window closing, huh, Dan?
Yeah.
The window's never closing with Josh Allen. Not happening. I think the biggest thing with Josh is, obviously we want him right. We want him healthy. That's number one. But number two, there's a reason why the Bills and the Eagles are kind of similar. They don't trust in the running back game. Like they're not gonna overpay for a running back. They're more of the analytics. They think that, hey, they can win with a Devin Singletary, a James Cook, a Naheem Hines. All those guys are literally similar as far as the running back goes. They're small, quick twitch, and can catch the ball. That's what they want. That's what they think can win. And so far, the analytics they've won out. But the problem is that when you've seen Super Bowl teams like the Tampa Bay Bucks, they need a bruiser. You need someone that just totes the load.
Yeah.
And that was Leonard Fournette. And that's the problem with these teams. Like, I don't think that the Philadelphia Eagles or the Bills can win it all without that. Now they're talented, but I just see teams that just have that bruiser in the playoffs. You need that. You need a Zach Moss.
J.A. is that bruiser. Let's be real.
You need a bruiser.
Yeah, he's bruised up, though.
You just need that. So let's see what happens. I'm very interested to see what happens. But the 2023 class, and we'll talk about it later on in the future, I really do like. They have a lot of talent in that class to bump up the offense.
Hey, but Pat and KC, they didn't have no bruiser. They didn't have no type of bruiser.
They just
They
got
had a
Pat,
bunch
though.
of
That's
scat
different.
Yeah, but they got Pat Mahomes and Travis
They got
Kelce.
Pat, and they got Andy Reid. You ain't lying.
I was gonna say Andy Reid is I think the piece there that you can't underrate too much. But I think when you look across the sports landscape, when you look at every single sport, look at every single championship series in the NBA, right? Everybody's chucking half court threes throughout the season, but once you get to the playoffs, it's a half court game. When you get to the MLB in the playoffs, what does it turn into? It's a pitcher's duel. You see a lot more 3-2 games, 4-1 games. Same thing in the NFL. It becomes a much tougher. The margin of error becomes much smaller. Becomes a running focused game. Defense, winning at the line of scrimmage. That's what the Buffalo Bills have to do, and they're going to have to do it with Josh Allen. I mean, they're the bruiser. He's their bruiser.
I see my dude Thomas ditched the laptop. He ditched the tablet. He ditched the cell phone and went straight for the old school fax machine, baby.
Yeah.
Let's run it up.
Yeah.
Let's go. We going with Dak or Herbert this week, y'all. Dak or Herbert. Oh, Dak plays up against the Packers. Herbert up against the Niners secondary. I'm going with Dak.
Dak.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Dak. I don't think there's gonna be too much of a difference in points between them two, but yeah, I'll go with Dak.
Who we like, Tua or somebody else for Dalvin Cook? Is that realistic?
No.
Depends on the someone else, bro. Depends
And
on
if
the
it's a
someone
super
else.
flex league or not, but nah.
I just traded
All right.
Fournette and Gerald Everett for Tua, Miles Sanders, and Christian Kirk. Is that a win?
Oh fuck. No.
What you think about that one, Tom?
That's
It's tough because like Lenny, it's like you don't really know what you're getting from week to week. Gerald Everett, it's like cool, but he's nothing special. Miles Sanders, we've already talked about here. Christian Kirk, he stole the bag from Jacksonville. I know he's actually been playing pretty like decent. Yeah, it's not like he's been absolute garbage. I don't know. That's an uninteresting trade to me, I guess. Like Tua is obviously like the big shining point there. I think they're due, especially
Miles
when you get into these cold weather months. A little bit of a fall off there. It's kind of a meh deal to me.
I'd take the Miles side, but it's not intriguing. I'd take the Miles side. Dan, what side you on, Dan?
I'm Tua side for sure. Give me Tua side.
Yeah, 100%. So, all right. Do I trade Mixon for Sanders and Kirk? I have T-Law. I didn't even got to read the rest of that. I would take Mixon for those two to keep it a buck. You know what I mean? So,
Mixon.
Yeah.
Oh, and a side note for that Kansas City team, it was Damian Williams who had 17 carries, 104 yards, and a touchdown. Also, 4 catches, 29 yards, and a touchdown. So you need to run the ball, even if you are Pat Mahomes.
But he's not a bruiser, though. He's not a bruiser, though. You know what I mean? He's not a bruiser.
He's more a bruiser. Yeah.
He's a bruiser.
Damian Williams.
Yeah.
He's 221 pounds, 5'11". He's a bruiser.
All right. Okay. All right.
What's the best trade you made this season in one of your leagues? I traded Lazard for ETN earlier in the season. Damn, that's a win. What's the best trade you made in your league?
Trading Carson Wentz for Dameon Pierce. Thanks, P.
God,
that was ugly. That was ugly. Yeah, I mean, I didn't anticipate. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, right? I mean,
how long we got you for, Tom?
I'm here all night long. Like I said, I'm in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. I am babyless. Full send it.
No kids? What you got going on out there?
Work, gotta handle business. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
I
feel
know
that. I feel
exactly
that.
what you mean.
Fun fact about Tom, man, gets down on the Madden. The only player I know, 2nd and 8, he's doing a fullback sneak. Oh,
Fun
fullback dive.
fact about Prabhat Parmar, the only player I know that will play in a Madden tournament with Jason Campbell and Clinton Porter's Washington Redskins circa 2007.
And lose.
The Birds
I
30.
Yo, that team on Madden was not bad. I should have picked
Clinton
the Eagles,
Portis.
but that team on Madden was not bad.
Who you lose to, P?
Man, some lame. I don't know. You know,
Tom, you
running
was in that tournament too. Tom, who'd you lose to?
Some lame running as the Bengals that had Chris Henry, Carson Palmer, Chad Ocho, TJ Hoosh.
Some lame.
TJ
Just keep
Hoosh.
getting wins, and wins just be
TJ
stacking up for that
Hoosh.
lame.
that was crazy. That was a good
bro.
day. That was a good day.
Oh, we right. It was a good day, bro. We need to run that back. Cup for CMC and Mike Evans. Now, we talked about
this is
Cup
what you
earlier,
talked
Dan. Is this enough for Cup?
Yeah, this is enough for Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is enough for Cup.
Yeah, you're getting CMC. I think and there's a lot of Niner fans in this chat, but I think that's a great move. And then Evans is a wide receiver 1, so you're getting a wide receiver 1, and then locked in elite asset, the running back position. Yes, this would be the trade that I would do. There's not a lot of trades that we would give up Cup for, but that would be one of them.
That's one of them for sure.
That's a good one.
I traded Cortland Sutton, Devontae Smith, and Brian Robinson for DJ Moore, Garrett Wilson, and Damian Harris. Let me know, P. Let them know.
You know what? We stayed low on DJ Moore, but at this point, I think that's a good deal. I would take the DJ Moore, Garrett Wilson side, even though you're getting Damian Harris, who ain't much. Brian Robinson, to me, he's underwhelming. I don't know. He probably still got some lead in him. Devontae Smith is not. And Cortland Sutton is a little underwhelming, but yeah, I like that upside with Garrett Wilson. So yeah,
The only
I'm
potential upside I could see with Devontae Smith is I feel like AJ Brown has been absolutely shining these last few weeks. At some point, defensive coordinators are going to have to double him. They're going to have to put a safety on top. And if the Eagles and Jalen Hurts are going to keep rolling, they're going to have to go to somebody. So I could see Devontae Smith having some blow-up weeks, but I don't see the consistency there with him.
Yeah, that Garrett Wilson side clears all day for me. That's the deal I'd send to you, Tom. Start bench.
And I'd accept it.
Start bench cut. Chubb, Mixon, Kamara. Now, this is a tough one. This is a tough one, man. If I had to pick one to start with, I'm going to go Nick Chubb, man. Starting Nick Chubb. I'm going to bench Kamara just because I feel like there's some of those down weeks we haven't seen yet with Kamara. Like, I think he's been getting a lot of the catches with Andy Dalton. But Chubb sees the end zone, 100 yards guaranteed. Give me Nick Chubb, and then bench or cut. I'm cutting Mixon out of these three.
Oh damn, that's solid. That's solid.
Tell me different. Somebody tell me different. Go ahead.
Nah, I'm not gonna hold you. I think that I think Chubb's. I would start Chubb too. I would start Chubb still. Even though it's a PPR, we know what Chubb's doing. He's giving you that, and Chubb's upside is even greater once Winston comes back too. So
You mean
that's
Watson?
gonna open shit up. Yeah, Watson might be. You know me with names. All right, would you try and trade AJ Brown and Monty for Eckler? Ooh, I think I would, depending on who my running backs are. Give me go get yourself some Eckler, baby.
How you like it, Dan? You ain't
I'm
feeling
okay
that
with
one?
Yeah, I'm okay with Eckler. Yeah, I love AJ Brown. I'm a huge AJ Brown fan. Really predicted a good breakout year for him this year. But when you get an elite asset at the running back position, go lock that in with Eckler. He's a beast.
Facts. Yeah, Eckler's
Yeah.
different. Tom.
Yeah.
So we have had different conversations about CEH on this show where he's been hot at times. He's been inconsistent. Are you dropping CEH right now? Like in a 10-man league, 12-man league? Do you think it's time to drop him for the inconsistency, or are you holding on?
I don't think so. Not in a deep league like that, especially. I mean, obviously, I think Isaac Pacheco's the play there. But he's somebody that you're going to stash on your bench because who else are you going to pick up? Like, at this point, what are we at? Like week week 8, week 9, week 10. Like, who else are you going to stash on your roster over CEH? We're going to put them on waivers where you're one torn ACL or turf toe away, knock on wood, to Mr. Patico. I wouldn't stash. I wouldn't cut him, but I'd throw him back on my bench.
Yeah.
So let me ask you something. You wouldn't drop CEH for like Jeff Wilson after what he just did, his first debut with the Dolphins?
No, sir.
No,
Not with
sir.
Miami. Yeah, not with Miami. Not with their passing game. Not with the backs that they do have. I'm not doing that. I mean, they still have Mostert in the fold. Mike McDaniel, he comes from that Kyle Shanahan tree of, they're going to do that running back by committee. They're going to use all of their weapons within their offense, where Jeff Wilson, he may have some nice weeks, but not consistent.
Some facts about CEH. Look, since week 4, its snap share was 55%. Week 5, 54, 42, 32, 15. Your routes.
Damn.
15 last week?
15% snap share last week. And then the route.
Bye-bye, yo. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
32%, 18%, 12%. He is trending down for Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Bye, Clyde.
He can go.
He can go. God damn. Or Kelsey and Monty for Eckler. I was feeling the AJ Brown one better.
Yeah, I'm not trading Kelsey.
Yeah.
Do not trade Kelsey.
Do not trade Kelsey.
He is like Cooper Kupp, like untouchable, untradeable. Do not trade Kelsey.
Don't trade Kelsey. And you keep talking about Monty in these deals, but Monty ain't a factor in these deals. When you tell he don't move the needle at all. Monty's
back in RB2, high in RB3 at best.
Yeah.
Yo, Justin Henry and Niner gang, I got to trade. You must be talking to me and Pete in. I got to trade. I got to trade in my inbox. They want Justin Fields and George Pickens for Geno and Deion Jackson. I want Geno, but do I accept?
What?
Sir.
That sounds like a trade. That sounds like a trade that P would send to the new guy in the league. Like,
hey, you already know we gotta try, man. We gotta test that new blood, baby.
D-Lo, my guy. I appreciate you tapping in. I appreciate you asking that question because that might have saved you a league full of heartache. Your group chat would have went wild. Do not send that deal at all. I wouldn't send both of those players for either one of the ones you're sending. So no, sir, on both of those.
D-Lo, that's one of those trade offers. You not only reject that trade offer, you just let that sit in your inbox. Like the silence lets them know that you're not accepting that ridiculous offer.
I gotta start doing that more often. Normally I'd be sending a counter. I gotta start being more disrespectful on the shit, man.
Right. Yeah, maybe screenshot that and post it in the group chat. Be like, what y'all think? All right, my man Big Jesus coming from TikTok.
Hey,
my RBs are ETN. I know. My RBs are ETN, Chubb, and Zeke. My wide receivers are Olave, Lockett, Lazard, and Gabe Davis and Pickens. I'm trying to trade Davis away, and I'm looking at Robinson or Michael Carter. Any thoughts or recommendations? I mean, yeah, you want to trade Gabe Davis, yes, but I would be looking at other players outside of. You're talking about Brian Robinson. You're talking about James Robinson.
Probably James Robinson, right?
Yeah,
probably. Yeah, it could be probably James Robinson. I mean, this is a good topic. I mean, we talked about this a little bit. James Robinson and Michael Carter. I think James Robinson's getting a little bit of an uptick. His role is growing there. He had one more carry than Michael Carter.
You don't believe this, P. You don't believe James Robinson is about to be shining for the Jets. Stop. Stop. You don't believe that shit, dog. I know you don't.
Listen to me, dog. RB1. Not just joking. I'm telling you like this. His role is he's not droppable. I don't think he's droppable. I don't think he's like – I think he has a role. They traded for him for a reason. His role is growing there. He got one more carry than Michael Carter. If Michael Carter was anything in that offense, they wouldn't be trading and looking for more running backs.
No, they needed the depth. I think if you're going to go for one, you go for Michael Carter. The Jets have a very soft schedule here in the second half, especially when it comes to fantasy playoffs. But PPR leagues, you like what Michael Carter does. In PPR leagues, you don't like what James Robinson does because if he doesn't get you a touchdown, he's useless.
Well, he got a few catches there the last game, but I mean, to go back to your question though,
go after someone like Stevenson or Cordell Patterson, someone that has like that little bit more, a valid role, and then you can kind of sell that upside with Gabe Davis. I'd probably sell someone like Gabe
Pickens.
Davis and maybe Lockett for a CPAT, right? And that might be the ticket where you need a running back. You need that third option, that flex play, because you already have Chubb and Zeke. That's what
Of these wide receivers, let me just get this off. Of these wide receivers that you have, I'm keeping Olave, and all the rest can go. I would probably keep Lazard second. And the reason I think Pickens has higher upside than Lazard, but Pickens also has way more perceived value at this very point in time. So I think you could get more for a Pickens than those other players, right? So, but yeah, I would target some.
Why
other
wouldn't you be
players
getting a
like
wide
what you're saying.
receiver though? Like, why are you
Why
going for
wouldn't I?
another running back? Like, why are you trading away Gabe Davis to go get another running back right now?
That's what I was going to say. Looking at your roster construction, he's very top heavy at the running back position, and you've got kind of like a mixed bag at the wide receiver position. I kind of like the options to where, Gabe Davis is a guy that you can throw in there once you get into the dog days of the season. My recommendation would either be hold steady or send the offer Gabe Davis and something on your bench for Najee. You know what I'm saying? Try to get Najee for the low. Try to get a player like that. See if you can take one of these players. Even George Pickens, to your point, P, he's got that really high perceived value right now. They're coming off the bye week, playing this weekend. Ship him off now. See if you can get that super high value in return for him if you're really looking to add another piece to your running back room. But looking at those receivers, they're all kind of like they've got those good games. They have the down games. I would just hang on to that depth and just kind of pick and choose each week.
Or how about like a Pickens and a Zeke for like a Pickens,
like a better
Zeke.
receiver, like a Pickens
Yes.
or I don't know, maybe like a AJ Brown or something like Evans.
Whoever has Amon-Ra St. Brown right now, toss Allen Lazard and Gabe Davis in their inbox. Go get Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yeah. That's a good convo. So my man Dylan, what up? Pat Fryermuth and Scary Terry or Mark Andrews and Sutton? Give me Mark Andrews.
Easy, bro.
Give me Mark Andrews. Yeah, I don't even need Sutton. Give me Mark Andrews. Tom, what you thinking? I know you're a big Pat guy.
I don't know. I
see. He was thinking about it.
Likely, that deal probably isn't a good move because that rookie tight end in Baltimore has been shining with Lamar.
You don't think that's long term though, bro?
It's not long term, but it's going to eat away from Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews is getting up there in age. He's getting up there with health.
Yeah, but he's 25. What are you talking about getting up there in age?
Mark Andrews, he's seen a lot of tread on the tires. Maybe he's not like old in terms of age.
There ain't no way Mark Andrews is 25 years old.
Yeah, no, he's not 25 years old.
Bruh,
he's 27. Mark Andrews is 27. He has to be.
He's 28, minimum 28.
Mark Andrews looked like a grown man, but he's young.
Mark Andrews looked like he's 35.
If he's 28 or older, you got to go on mute.
27?
2 minutes.
He's 20. Say just turned 27.
Elephant.
Yeah, right. Jahan in his memory, forget about
it. That's a misconception, P. That's a misconception. Y'all just be throwing shit at because I can't remember the short term. The short term shit's what I can't remember.
Okay,
hey, this is a really good point right here. Hey, Superflex League, do you trust Watson more than Kyler or Dak rest of the season? Now, that's not a good point. But should I try to move Watson? Like, where do you guys have Deshaun Watson right now? Because obviously he's suspended until week 13. We're not going to see him on the field week 13. Fantasy playoffs start week 15. What are we doing with Deshaun Watson, Dan?
I'm moving him. I'm going to use the closeness of his return, the hype of his return, and I'm gonna ship Deshaun Watson again. I told you guys originally in a few podcasts ago that Deshaun Watson wasn't even that good in the preseason. So what's the expectation? You're almost 2 years removed from football. The team is out of sync with this dude, especially when he gets into that starting role. He's going to learn how to get hit again. I long term, I like Deshaun Watson, and they gave him a lot of money for a reason. This guy, and he proved when he was healthy on the Houston Texans, he was a top 5 quarterback. So we know that the talent is there. To me, I'm moving him. I don't want to mess up the chemistry that I already have with the fantasy team. And to me, I'm using the hype. Getting off of Deshaun Watson. If you held him this long, like, I don't know, like in redraft, he should be on waivers. Like even now, he should be on waivers.
That's what I'm like.
He's not rosterable in redraft.
No, I agree with that shit. Like Deshaun Watson to me is
in
like
a super flex league. He's not rosterable.
Maybe in super flex, and it depends.
We're talking about a super flex.
Are you 12 super flex? Then that would make sense. He's at least on the end of your bench. The
super
end
flex,
of your
yeah.
bench.
Superflex, yeah, but single QB league.
Yeah, tripping. I guess
Yeah,
single
but
QB league. I
I'm
get that.
selling. I'm selling.
Right.
But what are you looking to get for him? Like realistically, like what are you looking?
You sell
in
him as a top 10
Superflex league?
QB. Like I would sell him as a top 10
What
QB.
what are you targeting? Like what are you looking to get in return?
If I'm gonna move Watson right now, I'm looking for a piece that can be an every week starter for me. Otherwise, I'm just keeping him on the bench for the upside. So if I can't get something that can replicate at least an every week starter for Deshaun Watson right now, then I'm just gonna hold him. But that would be the goal. If I sell him, I'm selling him as like, hey, this is Deshaun Watson. He's gonna help your team during fantasy playoffs. That's how I'm positioning it all.
So would you? Okay, so to the question to my man Kenny's point, would you trust him more than you trust Dak?
No, not
Not
at all.
Dak.
Dak and Kyler
But
easily.
Dak and Kyler easily over Watson.
Yes.
I can
would
see Kyler. Go ahead, Tom.
I would say I would trust Dak more. Kyler and the offense. I think there's something going on with Kyler and Cliff Kingsbury. I don't trust them. I don't trust that offense. I know they tried to add Robbie Anderson. I know they got D-Hop back. I don't
Hollywood
trust that
Browns on the way
offense.
back.
Hollywood.
They
I
don't know
don't
what they're
trust
doing.
them at all. I think when you again to answer this
Kyler Murray is the number 5 QB in fantasy average wise points per game. He's the number 5 QB with all the other shit going on.
Yeah, but even with that being said, we all know Kyler is hella fucking little. And he always gets banged up in the second half. I mean, this is facts. We're talking about facts here.
Call of Duty just came out. You can't trust him.
I feel like Call of Duty come out every week.
I think to answer Kenny's question, though, I know we're talking about all these scenarios, but in a Superflex league, right, you're talking about 20 starting quarterbacks. Are there 19, 20-plus starting quarterbacks better than Deshaun Watson, at least to keep on your bench as the second or third option? I don't think so.
Here's my problem with Deshaun Watson, right? And I think that's a very valid point. Like he's bench worthy in Superflex. But you have to come back, and we see even the best QBs struggle a little bit in that first week because that's their preseason game. We saw Joe Burrow struggle. We've seen a lot of quarterbacks struggle with that. I don't have to go through the list. But we saw Deshaun Watson struggle with that in preseason. This is a guy who hasn't played football in the last 2 years. Like, to me, I'm not just ready to throw him in there as his QB1. Give me the other players. Give me Kyler Murray. Give me Dak over Deshaun Watson right now. Like, it's not, and you got to trust that in the fantasy playoffs, P. Like,
yeah, exactly.
I would, bro, because let's keep it a bean, man. And you guys are a little wishy-washy on when you're talking about like upside versus like stability. Watson
wishy-washy.
Yes, bro. What are you
How?
going for? Okay, so in a trade or anything, when you're comparing like two different players, what are you trading for? Are you trading for their upside? Or are you trading for their floor?
It depends on the player.
You're trading both. You want.
Okay, so let me ask you something. Who has higher
in every deal?
Who has higher?
Come on, man.
Okay, who has higher upside? Watson or Dak?
Your point is invalid.
No, I'm asking you.
Your point is
who has higher upside?
They both do.
Watson or Dak?
Dak has higher upside, if that's what you want to say.
Dak has higher upside than Deshaun
Dak has
Watson.
higher upside than Deshaun Watson. Over the last 2 years, we've seen it.
That is over the last 2 years, you've seen what?
Have you seen him in a Cleveland uniform? Have we seen him in the weather? Have we seen him with these pass catching options? You haven't yet.
You're seeing what Dak's doing, right?
Yeah,
Is
Dak has been a top 5 quarterback
water?
before. We've seen it.
We've seen Watson be a top 5 quarterback.
Exactly.
Too.
So give me Dak, who we know in the offense can be that. We don't know that with Deshaun Watson yet. We don't. And when you talk about upside versus safety, it's different now. When you talk about upside versus safety, if I go and I'm like, hey, let me get Garrett Wilson right now. The upside is there for 100 yards and a touchdown, 102 TDs. We know the upside is there. But when we talk about Gabe Davis, what's the floor, right? So when we talk about upside, I can talk about upside and I can talk about floor. There's a difference there, P. You're trying to consolidate it like it has to be upside or it has to be floor. No. And I'm like, nah, the upside can still be there with floor. That's the difference.
Nah, but
this is that real shit. Hey, if y'all watching, this is the real shit, by the way. This conversation is the real shit.
Yeah,
is what I'm saying.
I get that, but I'm talking about this. Like, Dak has not blown anything out of the water. Like, he's not like, whoa, Dak is this immense guy. He's coming back off an injury. His weapons aren't there. His O-line is fucking trash. They don't really have an identity. Is he really like a top 10 quarterback right now, like cemented top 5, top 7? No, he's not. But does Deshaun Watson have that ability to come back and be a top 7?
No,
top
you just
5
diffused
quarterback?
your whole fucking point there because you said, "Oh,
What?
they're not that yet." He doesn't have that ability. He does in this offense. If they come back and things are clicking for this Dallas offense, now that they got Michael Gallup back, now that Dalton Schultz is supposedly getting healthy, CeeDee Lamb's playing at a high level, Zeke, all the weapons are back except for some of these O-line pieces. The thing is, you don't know what Deshaun Watson looks like on Cleveland. You don't. You have no clue. You're saying this upside. That was in Houston Texans where they play in a dome against teams that aren't as physical as the AFC North. So when you're talking about Deshaun Watson, you don't know what that's like playing in Cleveland weather where it's windy and it's snowy during playoff weeks. You don't know what that's like with fucking Amari Cooper as your number 1 receiver instead of D-Hop. We don't know what that's like with Deshaun Watson.
He has but what we do know is that outside of Deshaun Watson, outside of D-Hop, what did Deshaun Watson have?
Much different. Listen, different situation we're talking about.
No, I'm asking you a question though. Like, what did he have?
I mean, there wasn't a whole lot there.
There wasn't nothing, man. There's crickets over here. I'm talking about like you got a stud running game now. You got a solid O-line. You
Tom,
got a
hit
pretty good
unmute.
defense.
Yeah,
Tom,
I
if you
get
want
what
to
you're
chime
saying.
in.
There's a lot more talent on the Cleveland Browns. Let's cut the crap. Like it. Yes, he has the talent. But my thing is, again, you're 2 years removed from the situation. You're starting a team that has already built chemistry around their quarterback now. And then on top of that, you're getting colder weather. You're outside. You're playing more physical teams. There is a lot to be said about that when it comes to the ceiling of Deshaun Watson in game 1. And I'm not ready to say that he's going to be my starting guy. If he's not your QB in Superflex. He's not your QB1. He's guaranteed QB2.
Yeah, but we're to Kenny's point, right?
He's a QB2.
To Kenny, okay, but Kenny, right here in his situation that he's given us, would you rather start Kyler and Watson or Kyler and Dak?
Kyler and Dak. It's not a question.
Kyler and Dak.
It's not a question.
Nah, give me Watson, man. We can revisit this. Give me Watson.
We're gonna have to revisit it, dog. It's the thing is, you think about it though, you're starting him in week 13 or week 14. If he's not playing well in week 13, 14, are you starting him in your fantasy playoffs? No, you're not. It's just the nature of what it is. You go up against these Baltimore I think you're not thinking of is like these Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati games typically get kind of rough in weeks 15, 16, 17. That's what that weather out there is not like playing in Indy, playing in fucking Houston Texans with it's not the same shit.
Yeah, but hear me out. So so week 17 in the ship. Let's say you make it there. Are you playing him against Washington?
Hold on a minute. What was the 2 before that? You just casually skipped over that. What's the 2 before that?
So he got Cincy week 14. He got Houston when he comes back. Revenge game.
13.
You know he's finna go stupid. You know he's finna go stupid.
I don't know that.
Man, get him out of here.
When's the last time any Cleveland quarterback has gone stupid over anything ever in the history? I don't care if it's Deshaun Watson. It's
Derek
still
Anderson.
Cleveland.
Derek Anderson. He was an MVP candidate. Don't play with me. Derek
for
Anderson,
8
DA.
games. For 8 games, he was
getting MVP votes, baby. DA. I fucked around and drafted him next year too early and paid the price. So that's how I know. That's the only way
I want to know the schedule. Somebody tell me the schedule.
All right. So week 13, he's got Houston. Week 14, he's got Cincy. Week 15, he's got Baltimore. Week 16, he's got New Orleans. Championship week 17, he's got Washington. And then of course week 18, if they're playing week 18, he's got Pittsburgh. It is tough. Yeah. It's a little bit of a challenge, but let's look at Dax and let's compare and contrast. My man Dak. Who got Dak?
Can I trust Foreman this week? No, I wouldn't. With Chuba Hubbard coming back, I don't trust Foreman this week. No. Thoughts on Evans rest of the year? We talked about it. Dan mentioned it earlier. You don't fade Evans. Evans is good to go.
Yep.
While P's looking up the schedule, just traded Ayuk and Jamal Williams for Ertz. Thoughts? Ayuk has been better than advertised, but getting an elite tight end, I'm not mad at it, man. But Ayuk has been better than advertised. He's been a top 15 receiver this entire season.
Yeah. All right, I got the schedule up here for Dak.
All
right, so from week 13 on, it's a little softer, I can admit. He got Indy week 13. It's a little softer. He got Indy week 13. He got Jacksonville week 14. Week 15. Or Indy week 13, Houston week 14, Jacksonville 15, Philly week 16, and then he got Tennessee week 17 championship. So I mean, it's a little closer. It's a little closer.
Give me Dak.
It's a little closer.
Give me Dak. On that note, I'm out, guys. You guys continue to be beasting on this channel. Tom, pleasure, man. You got to join us again.
Yeah, man. Don't
Good
be
to
a
see you,
stranger.
Dano.
Tom.
Scared. Tom Hell is scared of life. All right, Dan.
Anyway,
Hey.
send it.
Yeah. Hey, ain't this crazy? This is what we was talking about like 10, 12 years ago. 13,
I
maybe
mean, I
like
kind of brought it
15
up
years
casually
ago.
and like had a whole game plan for this on the YouTube, but it's like, you know, some people was like, "Oh, we'll do it," but yeah,
I know.
yeah,
Fuck
here we
Dan,
are.
especially now that he ain't here, right?
Dan is the reason why this shit's still going. I'm gonna be real because Dan be putting in work, bro, for real.
Dan be grinding. He be grinding for real.
All right, here we go. Traded Jefferson originally with Boyd for Chubb and Lazard. P, this is your guy Lazard. Do you think he messed up or not?
I mean, you got to get more for Jefferson. Jefferson is probably the next best wide receiver outside of Cup. But I'm not mad. I mean, because Chubb is doing what the fuck he's doing, and Lazard, I don't know if you guys seen what Lazard's doing, but he's been Mr. Consistent when he plays.
A lot of touchdowns.
A lot of touchdowns, a lot of catches. He's consistently a wide receiver too when he's playing. So, but still, I would have asked for more. My man D-Lo, I knew I wasn't gonna accept it. Just wanted to ask to make sure I wasn't tripping. You wasn't tripping. But I wasn't scared to talk about it the way Justin is playing dangerous and how consistent he will be.
Yeah, Justin Fields has been balling, bro. He's been balling. Fields and ETN or Mahomes and Walker, Thomas. This is kind of one of those when you got a quarterback in the deal, it throws the values off a little bit. Who you like?
I like Mahomes and Walker in this deal. Mahomes obviously is on track to break the record in terms of passing yards. He's on fire. He's going to finish the rest of the year strong. Kenneth Walker has more fourth quarter touchdowns than any running back in the entire NFL this year. I know that doesn't matter like a ton in terms of fantasy. It just builds his momentum in terms of his value and what he's going to do in close situations. Seattle's one of those teams. They're super hot right now, but they're going to be in close games all year long. They're just kind of one of those tough, scrappy teams. So that's where that stat comes into play to where he's going to bring that value versus Fields. I love him as a football player, but as far as fantasy goes, I don't know. ETN, he's kind of on a hot streak right now. Can he hold that up for the rest of the year? I hope so. I like him as a player. I like Jacksonville. I'm still taking Mahomes and Walker all day long.
Yeah, I will say this. Mahomes and Walker, I mean, of course, I would take that. Walker's season for the playoffs, his schedule is rough.
Yeah,
his schedule is rough for the playoffs.
I wrote this down and I haven't talked about it yet. I actually have Kenneth Walker down as a sell high candidate.
Bruh,
sure.
and Justin Fields is a sell high candidate, obviously, too.
Yeah,
so,
Yes. I want to sell high on Mixon. Who should I try to trade for? We talked about this. Aim for the stars, man. If you're gonna trade Mixon right now, trade him as a top 5 running back. You can get that kind of value for Mixon right now. He's actually the number 2 running back overall in PPR leagues.
Use that to your advantage, baby. All right. After that convo, Deshaun Watson, do I pick him up off waivers? Yes, you pick him up off waivers.
Yeah.
I
In
don't
a
know
super
what y'all
flex
was talking
league for
about.
sure.
Yeah, in a super flex.
Dropping them.
No, I think I didn't look at the question in depth as I should have. In super flex leagues, I think he's rosterable on your bench. And if you have to start him, go ahead. But I feel like he's not going to be as valuable as people think. In single QB leagues, I'm not really going after Deshaun Watson like that.
Especially in a super flex league when you're rostering the Taylor Heineke's of the league. You're going to drop them for
Marcus
Deshaun
Mariota's
Watson.
and the Kenny Pickett's of the world.
Yeah, and to that point, right? If you, all right, Pickett. But to that point, like a lot of the people who did draft Deshaun Watson were hoping for him to return so they can replace their lower end QBs. But if you have Dak and if you have Kyler, I guess it's not a necessity. But majority of people who got Deshaun Watson been holding him for a reason.
Facts.
So on the topic of weather, would it affect AJ Brown and the Eagles' passing game come fantasy playoffs? Now we differ on this a little, and Tom, maybe you could be the tiebreaker here because I don't think it's going to impact AJ Brown as much as it would impact somebody like a who are we talking about?
Somebody in the dome,
from
like
the
a Cooper
Bengals.
Kupp or whatever. Yeah.
Nah, but like we're talking about like I guess Cooper Kupp or just or who's led from the Bengals who's hurt right now?
Jamar Chase.
Jamar Chase, right? Those are the two we were comparing. Personally, I think that the way that A.J. Brown operates, they do a lot of like slants to him and whatnot, what have you. He's not necessarily this like deep threat, although he can be. I don't think it's going to impact how they use him the way it would impact others. But but drop game on us, Tom.
Yeah, I think weather's overrated in terms of like a general topic in terms of, cold weather teams. But I think it matters to an extent when you're talking about certain dome teams or like Southern Florida teams, whatever. My bigger concern with Philly, once you get into those colder weather months, is having that physical run game to where in Cincinnati, if we're comparing him to Jamar Chase, you've got Joe Mixon that you can rely on. You've got other weapons that you can rely on. Versus in Philadelphia, A.J. Brown, he does have that more physical style, but are they going to have that consistent physical running game to help balance it out to keep A.J. Brown open? I wouldn't let it bother me. I would still roster him. He's doing great. He's another one. If we're going to talk about sell high candidates, if you want to get the absolute farm, if you're looking at a roster construction where you're very top heavy, you want to ship out AJ Brown for a couple like really, really nice pieces, now's the time to do that. So that's what I would do.
Yeah, I'm against selling high on AJ Brown for the fact that Pete mentioned, like, I think what happens in Philly, in Chicago, in Cleveland, and some of these eastern states where we see a lot of snow, we also see a lot of wind. In teams, it's not about can they throw in the wind. It's about is it productive to throw in the wind. And we've seen it with Donovan McNabb and Terrell Owens at times. We've seen it with quarterbacks. Michael Vick had a couple years where they were trying to pass it in the wind and they didn't. Jay Cutler's had some of those moments in for the Bears.
Chicago.
Yeah, we've seen the weather be a factor. Now, is it to a place where I would completely want to trade away AJ Brown or tear him down? No. It's a place where I still value him as a wide receiver one. It's just at that time you got to temper expectations because it's not every game that it's like that. And when we talk about those teams, it does factor in. Like weather does affect the Philly especially. Like there's a lot of wind in those Philly games. So I think we got to take a look at the schedule and we can do some more playoff talk here. I think, Pete, we need to do some more playoff content here soon. But it does affect how many home games that Philly has, especially if it's a tough opponent against Philly. Like then I'm starting to think, all right, you're not going to throw the ball. If there's 20-mile-an-hour winds, teams are sticking to the run game.
Another thing to keep an eye on with Philly, with them sitting at undefeated right now, is if they're sitting coming into the playoffs, they're 12-1, 12-2. Maybe they let their foot off the gas. Maybe they start not resting their starters, obviously, during the playoffs, but kind of leaning back a little bit. It's just something to keep your eye on.
That is a good fucking point. Now, so we're going to go over the Eagles' schedule really quickly, and this is actually more of a concern than I thought for A.J. Brown. So they play on week. Yeah, you're seeing it too?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was looking at.
Yeah, they play. So. They got Jair Alexander and the Packers here before the fantasy playoffs start. It's a bad matchup for them at home in Philly. Then they play the Titans in Philly as well. That's a concern. They go on the road division game in the Giants. We know what the Giants, you know what I'm saying? Like that, it's not a good feel. And then they go, you're like, oh, it's on the road, but it's in Chicago as well, which is also a windy place to play. I actually have a little bit more concern for some of these Eagles pass catchers than I thought.
Yeah. I mean, to your point though, Tom, seeing like where Dallas is at record-wise, they play them week 16. Dallas is only they only got two losses right now.
Yeah.
So I think that if it does get close, if they got 2-3 losses, that may be a little bit more for the division. So they may not want to rest them. But if they come out of there, it's a little bit tighter. But yeah, I mean, hey, listen, like I'm always a candidate to ship anybody, right? Anybody can go, right? Anybody can go. So if AJ Brown's your number one, and he's shining the way that he's shining, just coming off a 40-point game as well as a 16-point game here. I mean, see what you can get. Pair them up. See if you can get
always see what you can get.
You know what I mean?
Best piece of advice somebody gave me a long time ago is moving money makes money. You don't just want to sit still. If you can move pieces, as long as you're continuing to invest, get that return on investment, you just want to sit. Sit patient.
That's some damn good advice. We got a couple more here, and then we get off. Would you rather do Kupp and Tua for CMC or Evans, or Kupp and Judy for K9 and Adams?
Give me CMC and Evans.
Yeah, give me CMC. Let me see him
Yeah,
saying
I
that
mean,
is.
I like Adams, but K9, we were just talking about his playoff schedule. It's ugly.
It's ugly. And
It's
Tua, I
ugly.
feel like with Tua, you probably have a better quarterback. If you've been going this time without Tua,
Yeah.
you probably got a better quarterback. I got
Yeah.
Khalil Herbert, James Robinson, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire on the bench. I have Foreman on flex. Who am I starting over Foreman? Go ahead, P. Who you starting over?
Give me James Robinson, baby.
Don't steer the people wrong.
Yeah, listen, I mean, to be honest with you, like all of these people are on the same tier. Okay. I know Jay, we think differently. And I don't know if Jay's frozen or if I'm frozen, but
I'm
we
frozen.
okay, but we could
It's
think
me.
different, bro. We could have different opinions. To me, all of these players are in the same tier, bro. All of these players in the same tier. I think Foreman edges them out as of this very moment right now, but their team is trash too, bro. Their team is horrible. They got Chuba Hubbard as well over there, right?
Facts.
Depending on what their schedule's like, I do feel that they traded for James Robinson for a reason. You're seeing his an uptick in his carries. But even with that being said, we're comparing him to a bunch of players that are going to be at the end of your bench.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, what you got to say, Tom?
Yeah,
Go ahead,
add that.
I was gonna say, I think like if that's your only choice, obviously like James Robinson is probably the point you're going to want to go. If that was me, I'm taking J-Rob and either CEH or Herbert, and I'm packaging them up for somebody else, finding the new guy in the league.
yeah.
Again, back to my point, pick on the week,
Yeah.
package them up to get you one more
Don't
solid
get
starter.
Rashad White.
And if you
Don't
don't
get Rashad
have
White,
that
yeah.
person in your league, that means you are that person. And best of luck, my guy.
Yeah.
If you don't have that person, you are that person. That's lit.
Play that talking track that I was just telling you guys about. You know how they traded James Robinson for a reason. He's getting an uptick. Use that same vernacular in your trade talks.
Just clip that shit up. Clip that shit up. Don't talk about anything else we talked about afterward. Yo, the only thing is, if I was here and I had Foreman, Chuba Hubbard's going to be involved, but it's like I would almost be like, if I needed an upside play, I'm going Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and I don't feel good about it. I don't feel good about recommending it, but to me, he has the best chance to score a touchdown out of any of these guys in the most high-powered offense. Like, I would start Clyde Edwards-Helaire out of all these options, and I don't feel good about it because if you miss, it's 2 points, it's 3 points. But if I had to play one of these guys, I'm playing Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He could score 2 touchdowns and score you 25 points. Like, we've seen it happen before. Now, what Dan was saying, it was concerning, with the playing usage, but Clyde, to me, I would play Clyde out of all these guys. Like I said, I wouldn't feel good about it at the end of the day.
Yeah. So, all right, my man Dylan, I have Singletary, Terry McLaurin on my bench. Who's a good flex play that I can trade those two for?
St. Brown, bro. Go after Amon-Ra St. Brown. If you can get Amon-Ra St. Brown or like Miles Sanders or somebody, DeAndre Swift.
Check this out. Maybe even a Keenan Allen right now.
Yeah.
Imagine how frustrated that owner is. How frustrated that owner is. Yeah, right.
I'm cool on the other side of the pillow. You already know me. I'm like, bro, I've been through this shit way too many times.
Yeah.
But Keenan Allen, that's a dope one. All right, Tom, you get the last one. Do I sell high on Fields since I got Brady as a backup? Which do I get rid of? And who do I hold? I'm picking up Watson after you said that thing. So do you keeping Fields or Brady? And which one are you selling high? Which one are you selling?
I don't know if I'm selling either one of them. I might be covering both of them for the rest of the year because Brady.
Even with Watson?
Even with Watson, because Watson, you don't know what you're going to get. I think it's a super good value add, especially because somebody trashed at the end of your bench, you can drop for them. With between Fields and Brady, it's like, who can you trust for the rest of the year? It's like right now, it seems like Fields is playing a lot better than Brady, which is against conventional wisdom. But can you trust him long term? Can you trust him going into the end of the season? He just rushed for 178 yards. Is he going to be able to do that every year or every week? No, he's not. I'm keeping both of them and playing based on matchups. I don't know. I don't think either one of those quarterbacks is somebody you can hitch your wagon to for the rest of the season, at least right now.
You know what? And I thought that Justin Fields had a horrible schedule coming up, but since he's been on his streak, since week 5, 8 rushing attempts for 40 yards, 12 rushing attempts for 88 yards, 14 rushing attempts for 82 yards, 8 for 16 a touch, 15 rushing attempts for 178. It seems like they know what to do with Justin Fields in order to make that offense go, and it's having his ass run. Now, Now he's got Detroit this week. If we're talking about a sell high, you're probably going to want to sell him after this Detroit game. After this Detroit game. But I'm telling you, like, he's got Atlanta, which isn't scary. The Jets are formidable. Green Bay is formidable as well. I guess you could say that. Then he got the bye. Then he got Philly, then Buffalo. But championship week, he's got Detroit again.
Got to get there.
But see, I almost disagree with that, because look what Detroit did to Aaron Rodgers this past week. They silenced him. And then at what point would Justin Fields' value be any higher than it is right now after he just got done rushing for 180 yards? Then you can use that as a selling point. You're like, look, bro, he has Detroit this weekend and championship weekend. Take him for whoever. So if you are looking to sell one of them, it is Justin Fields for those points.
Yeah,
good reasons to keep him, but also good reasons to get rid of him. Brady, I would just hang on to him because you're not going to get fair value for him.
Yeah. Right now is the most that you could get for Justin Fields. I 100% agree with that.
Dude, well, Tom, surprise appearance from the God himself, Thomas McCormick, bro. You've been rocking with us. They don't even know how deep this shit goes, bro. But appreciate you coming on, dog. We got to get you on here more often, for real.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Absolutely. Let's put it on the books.
Yeah, you lying. You bullshitting. I already know you bullshitting. I got this kid, this wife.
Hey, man, I got a job. No, I'm just kidding. When's the next time you going live?
We go on Tuesdays and Sundays.
All right, it's happening. Let's do it.
All right, we'll get you in. We'll get you in. We got somebody coming next Tuesday. We'll get you in a Tuesday after that, for sure.
All right, got you.
All right, Tom, appreciate you, dog. Hey, if y'all been tapping in with us, make sure you guys subscribe to the Fantasy Guys. We'll be here every Tuesday, Sunday for you. Sunday starts this session. Starts at 9 o'clock Pacific time, 12 o'clock Eastern. We'll catch you. Tom, don't leave real quick. Hey, we'll catch you guys next time. Peace.